Today we are going to talk about PE firms and the PE CFO relationship. And there will be 4 videos on this matter. This video in particular is about how the PE firms, they actually value beyond the numbers. So let's say, give you an example. Let's say that the PE firm just bought your company for $100 million. And the PE partner basically comes to you and they ask, what levers can we pull to triple EBITDA in 3 years? If you answer with budget forecasts and cost reduction plans, you are totally missing what PE firms actually value. So today, I'm revealing what PE really cares about. And it's not what most CFOs think. So I'm a finance exec. I've worked with multiple PE firms in the past. And there's a pattern to their questions. And much of my understanding has been through some valuation studies and financial analysis I've done for them. PE firms, they have a fundamentally different value creation playbook than the VCs or the bankers. Understanding what they prioritize, they can make or break your relationship and your company's success under PE ownership. So let's deep dive a little bit more. The PE firms, they value companies differently than strategic buyers or venture capitalists. They are focused on specific value creation levers. The value creation priority for them is EBITDA. It's all about EBITDA, EBITDA optimization. The firms, they buy companies on EBITDA multiples and they sell on EBITDA multiples. Every dollar of EBITDA improvement multiplies their exit multiple. So say for example that they're buying at 8x EBITDA. So you have a $10 million company, EBITDA, and they buy at $80 million. They want to improve to $15 million EBITDA at 10x exit multiple, they get $150 million exit value. So a $5 million EBITDA improvement creates what? A $70 million in value. They want CFOs who can identify and execute these improvements. Value creation priority number 2 for PE firm, they want operational leverage. What PE firms they're looking for is fixed cost absorption opportunities. They are looking for economies of scale in procurement. They are trying to figure out whether you can implement shared service consolidation on the back end. Can there be technology-driven efficiency gains? So a real example is that a PE firm just came in and they bought 3 similar companies in apparel. They consolidated the back office functions and they reduced the combined overhead by $3 million annually. That is a $30 million in exit value at a 10x multiple. You follow the logic. So the third value creation priority is cash flow acceleration. PE firms, they care intensively about cash generation because it funds their growth investments. It enables dividend distribution. It reduces leverage ratios and it improves exit valuations. So key cash flow levers are very, very essential. And what are the levers? They look at working capital optimization. They look at your accounts receivable and your DSOs and how quickly you accelerate AR to cash. They look at inventory management. That becomes a very stale asset if it's not used properly. They look at how you're negotiating payment terms. And the fourth element is add-on acquisition platform. What that means is many PE strategies involve building platforms to acquisition. What they value in CFOs is that due diligence experience. They value that integration planning capabilities. They value the synergy identification skills. They look at post-merger financial integration. And what they're looking for is really platform building experience. You know, if you buy a $50 million revenue company, you add or bolt on, they call it bolt on, 3 $20 million acquisitions, you achieve 15% synergies, you exit at a higher multiple as a $110 million platform business. You follow the logic? Value creation priority number 5, we look at margin expansion opportunities. PE firms love this. They like to see gross margin improvement potential. They like to see efficiencies in SG&A. They hope to see good pricing optimization. They like to see good quality revenue, good product mix enhancement. They want to see all of these clear roadmaps for systematic margin expansion, not just cost cutting. The priority number 6 is the quality of revenue. We talked about that. Revenue quality enhancement is very important. Recurring revenue over project revenue. Subscription models over transactional one-time models. Contractual revenue over spot pricing. Higher customer retention rates. Higher dollar revenue retention rates. An example, there is a transformation that they're seeking. Convert this project-based consulting firm to a retainer-based model or long-term multi-contract model. Improve the revenue predictability. Reduce the concentration. And the final thing that they're looking for, priority number 7, I would say, is a data-driven decision-making framework. PE firms want management teams that can track KPIs that drive value creation. They want to identify performance improvement opportunities. They make decisions based on analytical insights. They report progress against value plans and operating plans. They really don't care. The PE firms really are not looking for perfect financial controls. They want very good controls, no doubt about that. But they care more about value creation insights. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for very detailed variance analysis, not to the extent that is mind-numbing, bone-crunching. They only want to identify improvement opportunities in the variances. They don't want complex financial models. They prefer simple, actionable analytics. They don't want you to follow compliance for compliance's sake. They want to focus on those compliance aspects that enhance the value of the organization. So keep in mind the PE value creation timeline. Year 1, they want to see operational improvements and quick wins. Year 2 and 3, they want to look at your strategic initiatives and your acquisition roadmap. Year 4 and 5, they want to optimize and prepare for an exit. And CFOs need to think in this timeline framework. One of the key industry-specific value drivers, look at software companies. They are looking at recurring revenue. They're looking at customer lifetime value. They're looking at churn reduction. In manufacturing, what do they look at? They look at operational efficiency. They look at supply chain optimization, and they're looking for back-end automation. In services, what do we look for? Utilization rates, pricing, service standardization. In healthcare, they're looking for regulatory compliance, patient outcomes, reimbursement optimization. So they're coming in with a very portfolio mindset. PE firms manage portfolios of companies. They value CFOs who share the best practices across portfolio companies. They benchmark performance, and they benchmark that performance against their portfolio peers. They leverage PE resources and their existing relationships. They think like owners. They are not just operators. So PE firms are buying companies, true, to create value, operational value, through operational improvements, optimization, not financial engineering. They want CFOs who understand this value creation process. And they want the CFOs to establish that value creation playbook that resonates well with them, and they can execute it systematically and sometimes under PE guidance. They focus on things that matter: EBITDA, optimization, cash flow acceleration, scalable growth opportunities, revenue mix. Show them how you will help triple the business value in 3 to 5 years. That is what they're looking for. So next week, we'll dive into how CFOs should actually work with PE firms. What are the communication styles that resonate? What is the reporting cadence? And what relationship dynamics drive ultimate success? Thank you.